Hi, I'm Megan Greenland, and this is my individual vlog presentation. My topic was on interpersonal responsibility. The ethical dimension of interpersonal communication moves the focus from relationship alone to responsibility for the relationship, a relationship that is about something. That's a quote directly from our textbook, Communication Ethics Literacy, Dialogue and Difference. The chapter that discusses interpersonal responsibility defines the interpersonal good as attending to responsibility appropriate for a given relationship. The authors discuss how this approach is not focused on the style or aesthetic aspect of this communication, but more on the concern for the relationship as priority over how we sound as communicators. Ethics language comes into play when the difference between personality and character are highlighted. The end goal is to link interpersonal style with interpersonal responsibility to develop long-term relational health. Overall, interpersonal ethics puts the relationship first, whether you're a teacher, parent, or other type of guardian. You are less concerned with what they want to hear and more concerned with what they need to hear. Personally, my thoughts on interpersonal responsibility immediately gravitate towards parents and teenagers. I admit my choice of video clip is comical. It's a scene from that 70s show when teenage Eric attempts to sneak out of the house while he is grounded. He is immediately caught by his father, who is known for being stern. After a brief round of discipline, Eric storms off to his room. His father explains to Eric's mom that his punishment is for his own good. His lesson isn't worded in the most graceful of terms, but even through his rough nature, his decisions are still aligned with his interpersonal responsibility as a parent. He told Eric what he needed to hear, not what he wanted to hear. The parental relationship is more important to Eric's father than Eric's opinion of him in that moment. This theory brings back many memories from my teenage years. As an adult, I've grown to know that my parents always had my best interest at heart, even when I disagreed with them. Learning more about this approach has furthered my understanding of why they made the decisions they did while raising me. For my article, I chose Guilt, an Interpersonal Approach. This article discusses a unique aspect of interpersonal responsibility, guilt. Although this is a very specific type of internal guide, it provided me with a fresh perspective of being responsible to the relationship, for in its own way, guilt comes out of care for the other. The article states an interpersonal approach would predict, however, that guilt reactions would be stronger, more common, and more influential in close relationships than in weak or distant ones. This article references another work claiming communal relations are defined by the existence of implicit rules that the individuals must be concerned about each other's welfare. Even though guilt has a negative connotation most of the time, it develops from a deep sense of good. When we do something wrong, we should feel bad for it, especially in close relationships. My concern is for those that have an absence of guilt when they have wronged someone they care about. I appreciate the deeper look into guilt because it's something the vast majority of humans with a reasonable level of morality have in common. It's the interpersonal responsibility to do right by those we have relationships with, even when we make mistakes. In conclusion, studying interpersonal responsibility has made one thing certain. Becoming an effective communicator that cares for the other above all else is no easy task. Again, my mind goes back to parenting. I'm not a parent myself yet, but I think about all the arguments I had with mine growing up. There were times where I know it couldn't have been easy to stick to their guns. Lucky for me, I know now that I have interpersonal responsibility partially to thank for how I turned out. Thank you for your time, and here are my references.